थोड़ा ध्यान लगा, थोड़ा ध्यान लगा रे गुरुवर दौड़े चले आएंगे, तुझे गले से लगाएंगे। अखियां मन की खोल, अखियां मन की खोल, तुझको दर्शन वो कराएंगे। अखियां मन की खोल, अखियां मन की खोल, तुझको दर्शन वो कराएंगे, तुझे गले से लगाएंगे। थोड़ा ध्यान लगा, थोड़ा ध्यान लगा रे गुरुवर दौड़े चले आएंगे। थोड़ा ध्यान लगा। हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के, रमण बिहारी के। ठाकुर हमरे रे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी। रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के। साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा,
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा,
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के। मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह धन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह देने वाला है उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. Pranams to Param Pujya Swami Shri Govindev Giriji Maharaj. On behalf of Geeta Parivar, I, JVSM Lakshmi from Mumbai, extend my warm welcome and best wishes to all the Geeta Premis and Sevis who are present on this holy platform to attend the Vivechan Satra this evening. Shri Krishna defines yoga as a state of disunion from every union with pain. How can one give up one's weaknesses and positively grow into a healthier, stronger, and integrated personality? Today, we are all here to understand the secret of success behind this by listening to the Vivechan of the second part of the 66th Adhyaya, the Atma Sanyama Yoga. What better way can there be than to start an event with a prayer? Prayer purifies one's soul and drives away the negative thoughts from the mind. So, let us quickly move on and invoke the blessings of our Jagat Guru Shri Krishna. For today's prayer, I welcome Maitreyi Bhattacharya ji from Chandanagar, West Bengal. Didi, a science graduate with an inclination towards spirituality and singing, is an art of living teacher. Presently, she is a sadhak in Geeta Parivar and offering seva as a technical assistant. Didi, please, for the prayer.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamshajanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. Sri Krishna Vande Jagadgurum.
Thank you, Didi, for that wonderful prayer. Now, Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhana Sampadam Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepam Jyotirnamostute. So today we have with us Rajesh Kumar Sinhaji from Kargar, Navi Mumbai to brighten this holy platform with the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. Rajesh Kumar ji is a senior general manager in Reliance Industries Limited. Bhaiya is associated with Geeta Parivar since 2020 and offering his seva as a Geeta Pracharak and a trainer in L1, L2 and L3 batches. Rajesh Bhaiya ji for the Deep Prajwalan.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदा नुमः.
Thank you, Bhaiya, for divinizing the atmosphere with your beautiful deep prajwalan. Now, before we proceed forward, here is an important announcement. It is a matter of great pleasure to inform you all that under the Learn Gita program, our new 28th L1 batch starting from September 15th, request you all to spread this message amongst your friends and relatives. So now finally we are all set to enjoy the spiritual moments and now move on to the most awaited part of the session, the Vivechan session by our most respected and senior trainer, Vikas ji Vaidya ji. Vikas ji Bhaiya is a mechanical engineer with a postgraduate diploma in business management. After 12 years of his stay as an NRI in different countries, Bhaiya is now settled in Pune and owns a small IT company. I'm sure all of you will find it interesting to know that he is a master of Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish languages. Recites all 18 adhyayas of Gita every day and has been doing it since last 5 years. Very interesting indeed. Bhaiya is also a trainer in Gita Parivar for L1 to L4 and involved in trainers selection and trainers training for L1 to L4. He is also guiding Gita Vratis to prepare for Shrungeri Peeth Gita exam. Bhaiya is a first prize winner at Shrungeri Peeth for the Kantastikaran of all 18 chapters and received the award from the hands of Param Pujya Jagadguru Shankaracharya ji. Vikas ji Bhaiya is indeed a very inspiring personality to all of us. It's my honor and great pleasure to welcome you, Bhaiya, for the interpretation session of the part 2 of the 6th Adhyaya. Over to Vikas ji Bhaiya, please.
Shri Krishna to all. Pujya Swami ji ke charan kamal mein koti koti naman. We are studying Adhyaya 6, Atma Sanyam Yoga. Last time we covered up to shlok number 12. Before we start, let us start with the prarthana. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kausachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. So last time we had concluded with shlok number 12, wherein we had said Tatraikagram manah krutva yata chittendriya kriya upavishyasane yunjad yogam atma vishuddhaye. We are sitting for meditation for purification of antkarna. Now how to proceed further? Paramatma says, 30 shloka. Samankaya shiro grivan dharayanyachalam sthiraha samprekshanasika gramswan dishascha navalokayan. So firmly hold the body, the neck and head erect and still. Then gaze at the tip of your nose without looking anywhere else. Ana avalokayan. Don't look here and there. Look at the tip of your nose. Sampreksha nasika gram. Nasika agram is the tip of nose. So the spinal cord should be erect. The lumbar region should be straightened. People don't sit straight, and that is why the back pain is such a common problem these days. And mind you, if your lumbar region is not healthy, then your body will not be healthy. The spinal column is a very important part of our body, connecting the nervous system to the brain. That much important. Thus, keep your spine healthy by regularly doing asanas. And always ensure that you sit with the back straight. Once the posture is assumed, then don't make any movement. Be still. Now, most people find it very difficult to remain still. Either the shoulders or the legs or some other body parts keeps moving. Body can be still only through a strong mental resolve. Thus, sitting still in the firm posture, gaze single point, saying that Swam, your nose, not somebody else's nose. So Krishna says, gives a very minute detail also. Focus the gaze on the tip of your nose, Swam, not somebody else's. There is a reason for focusing at the tip of your nose. What is the reason? Nasal tip here, the strain produced on the retina exerts a direct influence on the pineal gland of your brain. Pineal gland of your brain. And such is this distinctive practice that once you are able to fix the gaze on your nasal tip, Sammy, equalize incoming and outgoing breath. Samankai Shiro Grivan Dharyan Chalam Stiraha Samprekshanasikha Gramsam Dishashchanavalokayan, and that is it. This is the position you have to assume. Your mind will never be dissipated or agitated again if you can get this proper posture without any movement of the body. You cannot say that when you sit for meditation, you cannot say that, oh, my friend will come at 10 o'clock, so let me finish meditation between 9 and 10. If you sit for meditation with this thought, then during meditation, you will see the clock and the friend only. In your meditation, you will always see the clock and the friend only. Oh, it may be 10 o'clock, close to 10 o'clock. Therefore, the antakaran has to be still before we sit for meditation. However, like any other practice, this practice of meditation needs to be learned on a 1:1 basis from an expert. There is a method, a way of doing these practices properly. And what happens after one becomes an expert in these practices? Once you get this proper posture, what happens next? Lord will explain that in the next shloka, how to proceed further. So in this shloka, we have learned that Samankai Shiro Grivan Dharyan Chalam Stira Samprekshanasikha Gramsam Dishashchanavalokayan. Next, what is to be done? Shloka number 14. Prashantatma Vigatabhir Brahmachari Vrate Stitaha Manasayamya Machitto Yukta Asita Matparaha. Prashantatma. Thus, with the steeled and stable mind, fearless and firm in the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. Contemplate upon me, do your manan chintan, keep only thoughts about me in your mind. Attaining me should be the prime goal of your life. So if you take the literal meaning of the word brahmachari, one word brahmachari has come here, celibacy, then you will find it very difficult to practice this meditation, what is detailed in this shloka. But who is brahmachari? What is celibacy? At spiritual level, if you think the meaning of celibacy, brahmachari, our scriptures state that the one who has attained Brahma is a brahmachari. At the physical level, one who has systematically entered into the sexual act with complete awareness, not compelled by any driving urge, such a householder is a brahmachari despite engaging in the physical activity. So the important point here is the absence of any driving urge to enter into physical intimacy. Lust or sexual excitement is to be avoided, which means that not being slave to these urges of the body. Thus, being a householder is no barrier for becoming a brahmachari. Our scriptures describe how this can be attained even when married and leading a householder's life. Scripture, woman can be in love and not in lust. Our sages did not regard sex to be incompatible with seeking the divine. Seeking the divine and this physical intimacy have no correlation. They did not discriminate between body and atma, or can body without atma? No. So the truth is that even when the prana leaves the body, the omnipresent atma is still there. That goes, whatever goes is jiva, not atma. In last session, so what leaves the body is jiva. not Atma. Atma and Brahma are one. Thus can Atma, the all-pervasive Brahma, come and go anywhere? Now many of our rishis, our sages, led a householder's life, like Vashishta, Gangachari, Atri, to name a few of them. So as per traditional definition of celibacy, none of them could be called a celibate, a brahmachari, because they were living family life. But as we discussed in the beginning of this shloka, this is not what brahmacharya entails. The one whose intellect is established in firm conviction of Brahma, whose mind harbors no desire for sense gratification, such a person, he crosses over this sex feeling despite being in the physical activity, in physical intimacy. Thus, all sages and rishis were brahmacharis, by this definition given in the scriptures. Okay, let us go through a small story. There was a youngster, a teenager boy. He said, I dream a lot about girls, but I feel very uneasy sharing this with anyone. Another problem I face is that no girl is attracted towards me. A practitioner of yoga to whom he had gone, he told him that if you find girls attractive, then there is nothing wrong or bad about it. You are young. Your hormonal secretion are happening within your body. So why are you feeling guilty about it? But yes, you should have something special to attract the girls. Once you have that X factor, girls will queue for you. The boy excitedly asked, is that really possible? The yogi said, yes, it is possible, definitely. Come in the morning to learn yogasana. The boy wondered, how can yogasana make this possible? But trusting this yogi, the boy who used to sleep till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, he turned up to do asana at 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. There in the ashrama, first a Sanskrit shloka was read and explained, describing the fruits of performing yoga as to how it helps the body, how it keeps the body healthy and attractive, etc., etc. The boy then started practicing asanas and pranayama with dedication. And within 2 months of his doing asanas, he improved substantially in making the asanas and pranayama both. The knowledge about this deepened well in him. Once this happens, when you are expert in pranayama and asana, the knots in the body begin to dissolve and the toxins in the body get flushed out. This is the magic of asanas and pranayama. So the boy started feeling some difference in his body and mind both after a couple of months practice of asanas and pranayama. There was a marked difference, improvement in the physique and the mind of the boy. 5 months later, the boy started saying that since I started practicing asanas and pranayama, my mind has become serene and balanced. And I don't get those types of dreams or thoughts anymore. The cure was done. I am feeling wonderfully light and happy. The yogi said, no worldly attraction can entice the one who has quietened his mind through practice of asanas and pranayama and yogas. Even if such a person gets married, even during physical intimacy, his mind will remain calm and detached. Such a being can never be enslaved to body needs. For the one who has tasted the inner nectar, the amrut, worldly attractions are like a poison to him then. The sadhak needs to be free from all types of fears. Fear is of many types. Fear of your happy existence. Will it continue the same way as I am doing now? With that fear. The fear of future. How my future will be. The fear of death. That is the biggest fear we have. The Paramatma with whom we want to get connected, there is a fear in our mind for him also. About Paramatma also we are afraid. Therefore, before sitting for meditation, remember continuously to have some manan chintan about Paramatma, to create a feeling of devotion for him, to create a feeling of love for him. We have fear for whom? For one whom we have never met. If we have to go and meet such a person, we go with some fear in the mind. How will that fellow be? If we develop a feeling of love and devotion for him before sitting for meditation, we will have no fear for Paramatma. Always keep the definite, beautiful, and complete form of Paramatma in front of your eyes. Lord Shri Krishna, Shri Rama, Shiva, Vishnu, whatever manifested form of Paramatma you want to keep in front of your eyes, do that. Keep it in your mind. Holding his hand, we start the meditation and slowly enter into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That means a state wherein we are completely devoid of all sankalpas. We discussed last time what is sankalpa. So Nirvikalpa Samadhi is a state of mind wherein you are devoid of all sankalpas in your mind. To achieve this, we have to have steadfast determination. That is a must. A mind fully prepared to relinquish all worldly pleasures and attain a retrained, controlled mind. So we have to restrain our mind. We have to control our mind. And as we discussed, even if the sadhak is married, he still can be a brahmachari. Restrained life is celibacy. That is what our scriptures described celibacy. If you are restraining, if you are living a restrained life, you are a brahmachari, you are a celibacy. Some people immediately start looking for some light, prakash. If I start for meditation, I should start seeing the prakash, the light. When they fix their gaze, they imagine that I will start looking some kind of light. This does not happen immediately. It takes a lot of time. You have to have tremendous patience before you start realizing yourself and the change in yourself. The change in yourself, it happens only after consistent meditational practices. It doesn't happen in a day or two. The one for whom this world is nothing, for whom Brahma alone is the truth, his mind, his subconscious gets stilled on its own. He does not have to forcibly quieten his mind when he becomes an expert in doing the meditational practices. But as I said, it takes some time to become an expert in meditation. You can't expect that within 8 days you will become an expert in meditation and you will start seeing the difference within you. Physically, yes, probably you can notice differences by doing pranayama for a week. Yes, you will see some difference, some change. But mentally, the difference in your mental thoughts will come only after regular practices over a period of time. Okay, we go to next shloka now. Yunjanevam sadatmane yogi niyatamasaha shantinirvana paramam vassanstha madhigacchati. The Paramatma says thus, the yogi whose stilled mind is established in me, in Paramatma, he attains supreme peace and total liberation. Yunjanyam sadatmani yogi niyatamanasa shante nirvana paramam vassanstha madhigacchati. Once the mind is stilled and immersed in the divine, one attains supreme peace and joy. Such a being is liberated for eternity. So you are liberated. It is just that you don't know this and you keep suffering. You suffer because of your ignorance. And this is the reason why you need a guru who can give you the medicine. What medicine? Medicine of Raj Yoga, practices of pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and ultimately samadhi. If you learn it from an expert, then you can be cured of your self-inflicted illness. We have imposed illness on you through your mental thoughts. If you start practice of this meditation, you can cure yourself. We should have a strong realization that at that fixed time when I have decided to start my meditation, say 6:30 in the morning or 8:30 in the morning, you must have a strong feeling in your mind when the clock is nearing 8:30 or 6:30, whatever time you have decided, that the God will be waiting for me. Like when appointment for interview, you are very careful to reach the place in time. Similarly, for meditation, have this feeling in your mind that the God is waiting for me. And come what may, I cannot make him wait. Every hit of a hammer on the piece of steel helps changing the shape of that steel object. Similarly, every little session of yoga abhyas helps us in changing ourselves. But the change does come. Daily practice of yoga is the best way to treat ourselves. And what a cure it will be when it is achieved. From being entrenched in the misery of attachment with body, mind, and intellect, to the ultimate freedom of knowing that one is not body, one is not mind, one is not intellect. From the false identification with this finite body to being the all-pervasive, all-blissful, detached witness, the Supreme Parabrahma. The entire life gets transformed and you finally learn the art of and the craft of living this life. Then whether someone comes and goes, someone is born or someone dies, it makes no difference to the detached witness, none whatsoever. In our case, in contrast, in our case, we are not able to shift our focus from the worldly things to Adhyatma. When a new daughter-in-law, for example, comes in the house, the mother-in-law decides that now let me get engaged only in Adhyatma and I will hand over all these household activities to this new daughter-in-law who has come to my house. Then she will probably take a mala after morning bath and sit in front of God idol in the puja ghar, saying that now I will do only Nama Japa, I will not get involved in the household activities. Very good. She may start taking Rama Nama continuously, but her chitta, her mind is not in that Rama Nama. The mind will keep thinking, this new girl, has she started the water filter? Is she wasting the water? Has she added adequate quantity of salt in the vegetable or in the dal? Has she taken the right quantity of rice, or is she going to waste the rice? And so on and on. With this, she can neither attain yoga by Nama Japa, nor can she actively participate in the household activities. Na ghar ka na ghat ka. One needs to first clearly understand that focused mind, chittagra, ekagra chitta, is the first requirement of any type of yoga. If your mind is flickering, no yoga is possible for you. In short, to get Atma Jnana, knowledge of self, if the mind is focused, the yoga happens smoothly. What is yoga? Yoga is your connection with Paramatma. Yoga means connection. So when you're sitting for meditation, your purpose of sitting for meditation, sitting for yoga is to get connected with Paramatma. And you get this Atma Jnana only when your mind is focused. With firm determination, strong faith, and consistency, if we continue daily our yogic practice, someday we will experience Him, the Paramatma, in ourselves and attain that supreme peace, what is explained by Paramatma in this shloka. Shloka number 16. Na atyashnatastu yogosti na chaikantamanashnataha na chatiswapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Now Paramatma says in this shloka, who can do this yoga and who cannot. So the Lord says that this yoga is not possible for one who eats too much or too little, nor is it possible for one who sleeps too much or who always keeps awake or sleeps very little. Really speaking, a yoga learner must have some knowledge of the human anatomy, body, and physiology. Because many times it is the body which is sick, but the person may mistakenly believe that his mind is unwell. For example, for a person whose thyroid is overactive, he will eat a lot. His libido will increase, and thus the person may think that something is wrong with my mind. I'm eating a lot. Mentally, I'm sick probably. Whereas There is a thyroid gland which is not functioning normally. And that is the reason that he is eating a lot. Likewise, one reason for someone to get angry or aggressive is some biochemical or endocrinal dysfunction rather than a primary mental reason. So body may be sick and we may be treating the mind. Otherwise, it may happen the other way. The mind may be sick and we are treating the body. Both ways it is possible. The psychosomatic diseases are a result of your mind getting sick and then affecting the body. That is why practicing asanas regularly will ensure optimal functioning of the body and body system. If your body is unhealthy, how can you carry on with your spiritual practice? The Lord says in this shloka that yoga cannot be attained by one who eats too much or who starves himself by eating too little. An optimal amount of food is essential. Otherwise, where will the energy for proper functioning of your mind and body come? Some people never know where to stop and where to say no. We must remember, as our elders have been teaching us, that we eat to live and not live to eat. And some other extremes are those who deliberately starve themselves thinking that this is yoga. Doing too much of upvasa is a yoga. This is what their misconception is. Some people have great pride in telling that they keep fast on 3 days in a week, plus on some Ekadashi, Pradosha and whatnot. Keeping too many days of fasting is not recommended. Once a week fast is enough. People keep fasting on Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Ekadashi, Pradosha and all that. You see fasting done with this misunderstanding that one is worshipping God by remaining hungry. You remain hungry and you feel that you are worshipping God. This neither results in collection of any punya. It doesn't give you any punya. Nor does it become benefit your body. Your body may get some pitta dosha. When the body is demanding the food, by keeping it deprived of it, you are doing gross injustice to your own body. Adhyatmic sadhana has no correlation whatsoever with your fasting at all, except that you learn to restrain your senses to some extent. So you tell your tongue that you will not get anything to eat for 1 day in a week. Full stop. See how your mind protests. If you give in to your mind's demand, then you are not able to restrain your senses. If you do not give in to the demand of your mind, then you are learning the art of restraining your senses. So upvasa is basically an exercise in restraining your senses. It is not an adhyatmic sadhana per se, but it's a technique to restrain your senses. You don't become a bhakta, you don't become a devotee by keeping upvasa. It is a physical training and mental training. But don't do too much of it. You will fall sick if you keep too much of upvasa. Once a week is fine, good enough. Kabir, Sant Kabir, he used to say, Sato din Bhagavan ke kya mangal kya peer, jis din soye der tak, bhukha rahe fakir. The day on which the fakir keeps sleeping for a longer time, he remains hungry and that is upvasa for him. Otherwise, all the 7 days of the week are same. All days are same as they all belong to the God. If you are giving fast on Monday and Thursday and Saturday, then Wednesday and Friday, are these not created by God? To have a focused mind, the healthy body is a prerequisite. So don't eat too much and don't be too much hungry as well. The appropriate way to eat is to have a balanced meal in moderation. Moderation is the key. Yukta ahara viharasya. You will learn that the ideal situation is when you get up early in the morning, do your asanas and pranayam, then have your breakfast. Furthermore, try to eat natural organic produce and refrain from eating processed food. Or also avoid refined sugar. Eat natural ghee made from cow's milk. It is good for you when you take it in moderation. Don't do too much of it as well. Secondly, eat only as much as it will fill the quarter of your stomach capacity, and ensure that you chew the food properly so that it is liquefied in your mouth itself. So when it reaches your liver, your intestine, the food is already liquefied. Don't eat solid food and gulp it down. The intestine, liver has to do a lot of extra work. The other thing to bear in mind is not to drink water within an hour of eating. Drink before the meal or an hour after the meal. Also, it is not good to lie down for 15-20 minutes. Rather, it is better to lie down, but not to sleep. You lie down, not sleep. You lie down for say 15-20 minutes after the lunch. And when you lie down on your left side of the body, because then you are increasing the blood supply to your liver, which will help in digestion of the food. Don't sleep during the daytime unless you are sick or old. If you sleep immediately after the meal, will the food get digested properly? So don't sleep. Lie down, and that too on the left side of your body to help digestion. Likewise, sleeping too much or too little is also injurious to the health. Don't live your life in extreme. That is the teaching of Paramatma. Moderation is the key. Thus, sleep say by 10 o'clock and get up by 5 o'clock. Always remember that a disciplined life is a healthy life. Kumbhakarna, he lost his life because of sleeping too much. And Bakasura, he lost his life because of eating too much. Extremism in anything is bad. Moderation in eating, moderation in sleeping is required for any kind of yoga abhyas. So this is Paramatma's teaching to us on how you should live your life. Sri Krishna is taking deep interest on human beings, how they should live their life. Okay, we go to next sloka. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Paramatma says, yoga, it destroys the material suffering of those who lead a balanced life. When all activities, including eating, sleeping, working, and recreation, are done in moderation. Yukta ahar, yukta vihar. Yukta swapna, yukta bodha. So everything, eating, sleeping, working, recreation should be done in moderation. When we visit someone, he may bring a cup of tea and a dish full of biscuits. We don't eat all those biscuits available in the plate. We just take one or two biscuits. That restraint, what we follow when somebody offers a dish full of biscuits, we need to bring that restraint in our lifestyle. Don't give up eating. Keep it restrained, controlled. So many people think that following path of Adhyatma means we should stop playing sports, as it may be childish and immaturish. No vihar and no entertainment. Adhyatma doesn't say don't do entertainment of yourself or don't play any sports. For developing your mind, you have to play some sport. God does all kridas. Shri Krishna Leela, we know Shri Krishna's kridas. Then why should a human being not do so? But when the timing is over, we should give up playing sport also. 4 to 5, I will play badminton, or I will watch some good movie from 8 to 9 in the night. Fine, fair enough. Do that. These days, watching TV till late in the night has become a problem. TV has become a main reason for our sleeping late in the night. That results in either our waking up late or not taking adequate amount of sleep. This enslavement of TV should be given up at any cost. Eat judiciously, work judiciously, do your own work. Why be dependent on others for doing your own work? Why can't a healthy housewife who does not go out for work do the household work on by herself rather than depending on the maid? Why don't we get up and fetch our own glass of water rather than asking someone to get a glass of water for us? If you are feeling thirsty, get up, bring your glass of water. At least you are doing some physical activity. There was an advertisement I remember of a diabetic patient. He is sitting on the long, very, very long dining table, 10, 12 feet long dining table. He will sit on this side. He will keep the salt or other things on the other side. He will purposely get up, bring something, come here, bring something, come here. So do your own activity. Why not we get up and do our own activity? Furthermore, why can't men give a helping hand to their wives and share the work in the family? Our IT boys who keep going to USA and UK and Australia, they have learned this technique and they have to learn this way, hard way, because unless they participate in household activities, the family cannot work. There are no maids in those countries, so they have to do all household activities by sharing between themselves. Now, performing household activities like cleaning the floor, windows, walls, roof, even washing clothes are all good physical exercises. Some people employ 3, 4, 5 maids for different activities and then keep themselves busy in watching TV serials because they can afford it. Strictly speaking, it's not a question of affording, but rather some physical disciplined routine. It is believed that those who carry out such laborious physical tasks, which will make your body sweat, generally keep in good health. If you keep sitting idle on a sofa watching TV throughout the day, taking lunch, again sitting on the sofa watching TV, and then sleeping and again watching TV and going to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock in the night or 11 o'clock in the night, no physical activity. Sweating washes away all the bodily toxins, thereby energizing and refreshing our body. The Lord adds that your sleep too should be in moderation. There is a way of sleeping and waking also. For example, you should align your body's position with that of the Earth's magnetic field. If you sleep in wrong direction, the magnetic field can harm your brain cells and your sleep also will be disturbed. The Lord says that those who lead their life in moderation are eligible to receive the fruits of yoga. To live in moderation. That is the message. Next shloka. Yada vinite chittam atmannevavatishthate nispruhas sarva kamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. Now here Paramatma says, when the totally controlled subconscious mind rests in pure self, devoid of all material desires, such a person is said to be yoga yukta. That means steadfastly established in yoga. So who is a yoga yukta? Whose subconscious mind is controlled and it rests in pure self, whose mind is devoid of all material desires. Such a person is a yoga yukta. Honestly speaking, you cannot control your subconscious mind. Very tough. Rather, you can understand the subconscious mind as to how it functions. This word control has been traditionally used in the reference to mind and senses. Control your senses, control your mind. But how can you forcibly control your senses or mind? All that you can do is to be aware the working of senses, mind and intellect as to how they work, how they function. That is how you can understand their function. And the moment you become an observer of your mind, all mental fluctuations and modifications will simply go away. You become an observer of your own mind. You cannot control, you can only understand your mind. Observe, where do the thoughts come from? Where do they go? How does the mind function? You can understand this only by detachedly observing the antics of your mind. Observe your mind, how it is processing the thoughts, from where the thoughts are coming, where they are going, and how the mind is processing those thoughts. Observe this as a witness. All noise, all chaos of thoughts in the mind, they only long as long as you are unconscious of your own mind. You are unaware of your own mind, how it functions. The moment you get awakened, this turbulence in the mind starts to get quietened. You don't have to do anything to stop your thoughts. So don't fight with them. See, I am going to stop my thought. Is also a thought, no? When you say that I'm going to stop my thought, is also a thought. Thus, you cannot become thoughtless by forcibly suppressing the thoughts. If you fight with your mind, the mind will invariably be the winner. You can never win your own mind by forcing on it. Observe it. Restraint is possible only by observing it, not by forcing it. You cannot link your identity to your mind. You are not mind. You are not senses. You are not intellect. Get this thought firmly rooted in your mind again, in your pure self. It is only when you detachedly witness and observe the tactics, games played by the mind, then the mind stops. The Lord says that the mind that has stopped, that has quietened, then where is the question of desires arising in a mind which is already stilled? In such a stilled mind, the desires, the kamanas don't crop up. What desires? What attachments? What aversions? When the mind itself is still, when it ceases, then these things don't happen in the mind. Thus, all the bondages dissolve and you become free, eternally free. Become a witness of mind and not the mind. We take over the role of mind and we start commenting on everything that is happening through our sense and sense objects. You like something, the mind starts commenting. Yes, this is good. I like this. Don't make commentary. Don't become the mind. The senses and sense objects will continue to interact. That will continue to happen. Keep your mind away from it. That is the way to restrain your mind. Okay, next shloka. Yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. Here, a comparison is made of a flame. Paramatma says, a flame does not flicker when it is placed in a breezeless place. Breezeless place. This is the analogy used to describe the state of a yogi. Mind is perfectly stable and who always remains steadfastly absorbed in the divine remembrance. So his mind is compared with that flame. The Lord gives the simile of the flame, stating that just as the flame remains absolutely still in a place devoid of breeze, so the steadfastness of a yogi's mind, which remains absolutely still without the quiver of single thought. No breeze of desires to disturb the quietude of such a stilled mind. At a deeper level, you are the flame, the light of awareness, which never extinguishes. But what a misfortune. Such is the unfortunate state today that the very embodiment of light is stumbling in the darkness. We have the light in us, but our own light is stumbling in the darkness. Can you imagine light getting trapped in darkness? Yes, it is happening. But why this is happening? Lord says, wandering aimlessly, stumbling, bumbling, and falling in ignorance, in attachment. That is the reason this light is moving in darkness. You were and you are supreme Parabrahma. But what a tragedy that you have no inkling of your own essence. Desires agitate and disturb your mind. They throw your mind in turmoil. Thus, you have to be always careful that desires don't disturb the peace of your mind. Desires will come to your mind, but let it not disturb your mind. Attachment will happen, but let them not affect the mind, the thoughts. Don't let desires drive your mind in turbulence. That means, in the depth of your meditation, when you are concentrating on an inspirational message, when you sit for meditation, you are concentrating, focusing on some inspirational message. For example, the more one gives, the more he receives from the God. This is one thought. Or those who pardon others get pardoned by the God. This is another thought. So when you start your meditation on such thoughts, your mind should be like the tip of the flame in that breezeless place. With that kind of stillness in the mind, when you start meditation on these thoughts, becoming motionless and steady, at that time, you'll concentrating on the words of this prayer, each word of this prayer. And that means you are slowly becoming the embodiment of these thoughts themselves. Provided you enter into medicinal practice on a regular basis. Let these thoughts become deeply rooted in your mind. Let your body become the embodiment of these thoughts. It requires enormous efforts to do this. But through ceaseless efforts, probably every one of us can reach that state through consistent practice of meditation, in which the mind, like the flame of that lamp, does not flicker or waver at all. Next shloka, Paramatma says, 20th, Yatro paramade chittan niruddhai yoga sevaya yatra chaiva atmana atmanam pasyanna atmani tushyati. Paramatma says, when the subconscious mind has been stilled, has been quietened, in complete repose. What is repose? Repose is a condition of half sleep. What is half sleep? To give you one analogy, when we take full oil body massage, you experience this state. At the end of massage for an hour, when the massage is an expert, your physical and mental condition is repose. Mind doesn't work, body doesn't work. That half sleepness is repose. And that complete repose mentally, it comes through the practice of yoga. When one experiences the Supreme Divinity through the refined intellect, which has been purified through the remembrance of Lord, thus seeing the self by the self. The yogi is contented in his own self. In simpler words, the still mind is in the still mind, the self reveals itself. So when your mind is still, then only you can get an inkling of yourself within yourself. From the depth of meditation, the man draws the joy and peace of complete fulfillment. The entire journey of spirituality has been condensed in this one shloka. Let us read this shloka once again. Yatro paramade chittan niruddha yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pasyanatmani tushyati. This is the journey of entire spirituality. Firstly, still the subconscious mind through practice of yoga. The subconscious mind is in uparmate. That means in total repose. What is repose? We already saw that. With neither passion nor dispassion to the material world. That is repose. There is neither any attachment nor any aversion to the material world. That is repose. And this stillness, this total repose of subconscious mind will be attained through practice of yoga. Now there are several well-defined paths of attaining yoga. Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga, Hatha yoga, Raja yoga, Kundalini yoga, Laya yoga, Mantra yoga, etc., etc. Get to know from an expert which of these suits you the best. If your mind is restless, you may be advised to follow Mantra yoga first to make your mind still. If your body is unhealthy or imbalanced, then the path of Hatha yoga or Raj yoga will be suited for you. If you progress, your guru then will introduce you to Bhakti yoga to increase the depth of devotion in your mind. Kirtan, Namajapa, and love are the tools of Bhakti Yoga. Love for Paramatma, of course. As you keep on progressing, the Guru will keep on introducing deeper and deeper practices like maybe Chakra Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Laya Yoga, and so on. It is the effect of these practices which will steal your subconscious mind. But remember, you cannot skip any of these steps. You cannot pick and choose, saying that I will do only Hatha Yoga and nothing else. I will do only asanas. Thus, this fellow will convert yoga into a gymnastic. That may help you in keeping your body fit, but that is all. Our goal is much larger than that. The Lord says that once the subconscious mind has been stilled and is in complete repose, then the experience of Supreme Chaitanya will happen through that refined and pure intellect. Remember, dhyana cannot be comprehended by an impure intellect. Your intellect has to be pure. Then only this dhyana is possible. Okay, next look at 21. Sukhamatyatikam yat tad buddhi grahyamatīndriyam vetti yatra chaivayam sthitas chalati tatvataha. The purified intellect has transcended the senses, absorbs the boundless bliss, and the yogi who is in this state of sheer bliss never moves away from it. That infinite supreme divinity, the Parabrahma, is beyond the senses, beyond the mind. Mind is finite, but the Parabrahma is eternal, infinite. Thus, how can you know the infinite through the finite? Is it possible? The supreme divinity is infinite, the Parabrahma is infinite, it is beyond senses, beyond mind, but mind is finite. So how can you know Parabrahma, which is eternal and infinite, through the finite mind? Imagine, on a full moon night in a summer, you are lying down on your terrace, listening to some old Bollywood classics, and you feel, yes, this is the pleasure, this is the happiness of life. I'm enjoying this moment very much. But this happiness is sense dependent. It starts with the sense getting connected with the sense objects. Here, the ears get connected to the listening, and then it ends. We are talking of happiness which is sense independent and unlimited, eternal. One who experiences this celestial happiness, how can he remain interested in the sense dependent happiness then? Once you test this happiness, which is sense independent, you will never depend on the sense dependent happiness. Such a person never gets deviated from his self, irrespective of his body age, his body's pain or troubles. This particular state of antakaran is called yoga, your connection with Paramatma. Ordinary people have connection, that means sanyoga, with miseries and pain since their birth. The disconnection of that state of misery and misfortune and pain is attained through the yogi Atmanubhuti. Getting deeply engrossed in pure self is the state of samadhi. And once this beyond senses pleasure is experienced by a devotee, he never comes out of it. So what you have to do is to keep on refining and purifying your intellect by diligently and consistently performing spiritual practices, dhyan, dharana, all that. Once the intellect gets deeply distilled and purified, the infinite supreme Parabrahma, the infinite bliss, manifests from within. Then the yogi attains the self-realization, the supreme Parabrahma, and once it is attained, the yogi never ever moves away from this highly evolved state of being. Then whatever the yogi does, be it eating, talking, walking, sleeping, laughing, or even crying will be always established. He will be always be established in the eternal, blissful, supreme Parabrahma, irrespective of the activity that he is performing. All his actions, in fact, his entire life becomes nothing more than the divine play of Paramatma, the Leela of Paramatma. Thus, all the hard work is to be done only once. Once you attain it, you will never move away from it. Once attained, the Lord never ever leaves you. Perfect your body through Hatha Yoga or Raj Yoga. Perfect your mind through Mantra Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and perfect your intellect through Dhyana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, that means Jnana Yoga. However, do note that the God is very, very close, closer than your own breath, to those whose intentions are pure, whose hearts are pure. Else, the Lord could be very, very far away from you. The distance you cannot imagine. It could be billions of light years. The God could be billions of light years away from you when your mind and your thoughts are not pure. You see, the moon is just around 4 lakh kilometers away from Earth. The light travels that distance in just 2 minutes. 1,88,000 or 86,000 miles per hour per second is the speed of light. It takes hardly 2 minutes. Chandrayaan has taken 3 weeks to reach the moon. And we are talking of billions of light years. So 1,86,000 multiplied by 60, and all that calculation you can make. The amount of distance traveled by light in 1 year is 1 light year. And we are talking of billions of light years. God could be that much away from you if your mind and intellect is not pure. Next look 22nd. Yallabdhva chaparallabham manyadenatikam tata yasmin sthito na dukhe na gurna api vichalyate. This is important. For the yogi who has attained the Lord, there is nothing superior to this attainment of Lord. And thus established in the supreme divinity, he is not perturbed even by the catastrophic grief. Gurunapi vichalyate. He never gets disturbed by even catastrophic grief. Can there be any achievement better than the attainment of supreme divinity? But look at our lamentable conditions. Our ideas of profit are just confined to buying material object at a cheaper price, and we get happy with that. Our joy is limited to that. When tomatoes were 150 rupees per kg, if you somehow manage to get it for 100 rupees per kg, we rejoice, saying that, oh, great achievement, and you feel very happy in that small pleasure that you have attained. The greatest liberation in this world is the attainment of God. Nothing else can ever match this accomplishment. Once this invaluable wealth is attained, the yogi never gets distressed by sorrow of whatever proportion, catastrophe. The yogi's mind always stays calm and unperturbed. One small story. There was a time when Guru Gobind Singh Ji had all the worldly pleasures, riches, success, fame, a loving family, and a powerful army that adored him. People would regard Guru Gobind Singh as God and worship him with utmost reverence. He had all the wealth, power, love, respect. But then the time changed. He lost all his 4 sons. 2 died waging the war, and 2 had to face a very horrifying death as they were buried alive by Mughals. His father had already been brutally murdered. Then his mother also died. Then while waging a war, which they appeared to be losing, his followers, Guru Gobind Singh's followers, they made him to flee, to run away from the fort in the middle of night. He did not want to leave, but somehow he was forced to leave for his own safety by his followers. He wandered alone in the forest at night. It was cold and raining and windy. He whose body would get a bruise even with a seize in the silken bedsheet, had to sleep on the wet ground, all drenched and shivering in the cold. But there was a peaceful smile on his face even in those circumstances. While gazing at the sky, he exclaimed, "Oh, beloved Lord, as long as you are there with me, I am not bothered by anything. No tragedy can disturb me. All I want is for you to stay with me forever. Then whatever happens may happen, for it will not disturb my inner bliss." When a Senapati wins the war, he does not care about the body injuries inflicted by the war. Once you experience this Brahmananda, you automatically stop thinking about the physical, mental miseries of your life. This is the state of a Jnani. Such is the steadfastness of this Jnani in Supreme Divine, that no matter how harsh the trials and tribulations of his life are, he does not get distressed by anything. And nothing can displace him from his state of supreme bliss. That is the magic. Next sloka, 23rd. Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga vyoga yoga sanjnitam sanishchena yuktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. Paramatma says, yoga means, and it entails severance, disconnection of painful material world and union with the blissful supreme divinity. This is yoga. Disconnect with the samsara and get connected with the Paramatma is yoga. And this yoga should be practiced with a steadfast and inspired mind. There is nothing more important than perfecting the yoga. Besides, the Lord adds two conditions that needs to be fulfilled. First, be wary of the company that you keep. Don't keep the company of people who believe that having pleasures is the most important thing in the life. Having worldly pleasures, material pleasures is the most important thing in the life. Most of us feel that way. Yes. Paramatma says, don't keep in company with such people who regard life is only for enjoyment. Don't mingle with those who are not seeking the higher truth. Those who do not respect the God. Your true friends are those who are like-minded. In Gita Parivar, we are all like-minded people gathered together. And this is the platform provided to us by Lord Krishna himself, that all like-minded people have come together. And we are all treading on the path of spirituality together. This is a great boon to us by Lord Krishna. Keep away from others, mind you. Keep away from others does not mean that you hate them or consider yourself as superior to them. No. That is not the meaning. After all, every being is on his own journey. If you cannot avoid them, at least the contact with them could be minimized. If their thoughts and your thoughts are not matching, and if you feel they are disturbing your spiritual awareness, your path of spirituality, then keep the bare minimum contact with them. Furthermore, don't reveal your spiritual interest to those who are not interested in listening that. Don't waste your time. Use your time for your own sadhana, your own evolution, instead of discussing with such people. Attaining this state of sukhamatyatikay, extreme happiness, extreme joy, is not easy. Atyantik sukh, which is beyond the grip of senses, that sukh, to get that sukh is not an easy thing. Consistent, committed, dedicated efforts are required. A hasty or crabby approach never helps. You may have to spend years in one stage before you move forward, but never lose your patience. Some of us are very enthusiastic in starting the yoga sadhana in yoga, but the interest fades away in a few days. We expect immediate results. We're impatient people. We expect something to happen instantly for us. We want to see the divine light immediately. You fix your gaze here and you want to see the light. We want to attain that samadhi immediately. Some people even take tuitions in samadhi. But samadhi is to be experienced, not taught. The initial enthusiasm should keep on increasing actually day by day when you are in yoga sadhana. Thus, your mind should never get bored of doing spiritual practices. Generally, it happens that with us that some days we are very, very enthusiastic. Yes, I must do this. And do our practices with full vigor and attention. And there are some days when you are disinterested. So you feel it's okay not to practice on those days. Just make sure that feeling boredom, it does not creep in your spiritual practices. Boredom is indeed a big stumbling block on the path of spirituality, wherein people go astray as they get bored with the monotony of the spiritual practices. Once a disciple told the Guru that he is leaving the practice because he is getting bored. The Guru said to him, then please leave me also, because I brought this boredom to you. So if you want to leave this practice, leave me also. The Lord cautions us that be careful of this boredom. Perform practice of yoga with a mind that is motivated, inspired, and enthusiastic. Don't allow this boredom to creep in. Next shloka, the last for today. Shloka number 24. Sankalpa prabhavan kamas tyakva sarvana sheshatah manasevendriya gramam viniyamya samantataha. Paramatma says, determinedly, with determination and detachedly renounce all desires along with the sankalpa and rein in the senses from all sides with the aid of the mind. This is the word-to-word meaning of the shloka. So desires and sankalpas, they originate from the underlying vasanas that we have in our subconscious. The sanskars are the root cause of all vasanas. And how sanskars get built, we discussed this some time back. Sanskars get built, every karma that we do, it leaves an imprint on our antakaran. And at the end of life, all these imprints we carry forward to our next life. If the karmas done are sattvic, good, then we carry the baggage, wherein the baggage of sattvic imprints is bigger, similarly Rajasi and Tamasi. So every karma, now we are listening, we are discussing this Gita 6th Adhyay. This is a karma. This is leaving an imprint on everybody's antakaran. Get it clear? Every karma that we do is leaving an imprint on our antakaran, and this is the imprint, these are the imprint, this baggage of imprint we carry to our next life. And that becomes our sanskar. With that sanskar, we are reborn. So the more sattvic karmas we do in this life, with more sattvic baggage will be born, with more sattvic sanskar will be born in our next life. As simple as that. The Lord says, uproot the desires completely, including the root of vasanas should be uprooted. Throw them out of subconscious mind. Now this is an extremely profound task. Stopping of thoughts for some time. And that is not enough. As long as the seeds of sanskars are lurking in the deeper layers of your subconscious, vasanas will keep on awakening. Desires will keep on sprouting. Sankalpa will keep on being formed. And this will keep on translating into actions. This is how our sanskars govern, they rule our karmas. Thus, deep cleansing is required. One needs to eradicate the very root cause of this entire chain, which means total destruction of past sanskars. Now, how can you destroy the sanskars? There are two ways. One is yoga nidra and detached witnessing. Yoga nidra, I think we discussed in discussion of 5th Adhyay, but we'll discuss again in the next session if the time permits. These are the ways to go deeper in the mind, and doing so, gradually the mind will get emptied of sanskars and desires. If we don't sweep and clean our balcony or terrace every day, it gets covered by dust. We experience this every day. And if we don't clean it for weeks, then it gets totally hidden under the layer of dust. Similarly, our minds get cluttered and covered with debris when we fail to have our daily meditation. Weekly once cleaning is not enough. Daily cleansing is required. The way to keep the mind clean and pure is to spend at least half an hour every day. No matter what other responsibilities we have, in the practice of meditation, we must spend at least half an hour a day. If we do it regularly, every morning, we gradually will find that it becomes easy to keep the place clean. Place in this case is our mind. Without meditation, it is difficult to bring the senses under control. As we discussed, when you regulate your mind, you are regulating your body and senses as well. And meditation is a technique to regulate your mind. I think we stop here, and now the forum is open for you to raise your questions. Thank you so very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Bhaiya. We'll just take a small break and for a few announcements. With great pleasure, I would like to bring to your kind notice that Gita Parivar is all set to start the new 28th L1 batch from September 15th. As you all know, it is conducted in various languages and many time slots, right from morning 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. Happiness increases when shared with others. So I request you all to kindly spread this message and see that maximum number of people in the society come to know about this and derive benefit out of it. The second announcement, the most important thing, at the end of this session, we have the chanting of Hanuman Chalisa as a part of the Satakoti Hanuman Chalisa Parayan. So I request all of you to take part in this group chanting and be blessed. So now we'll proceed to the next part of this Vivechan session, that is the question and answer session, where you'll be able to interact with our respected Vikas Ji Bhaiya, who will answer all your queries. Request you all to come forward with your doubts, and please use the hand symbol so that you can be unmuted. And please switch on your videos also. Now. I think now we have Chinmay Mitra. Chinmay Mitra ji, kindly unmute yourself and please put forward your query.
Gita is in unmuted. Yes.
Chinmay Mitra ji, kindly unmute yourself.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yes, Chinmay ji, boliye.
Little digression.
Yeah.
What related to Mahabharata. See, this Pangsha took his sister to prison, right? So, how you describe this situation? Because sometimes people take decision out of fear, and that was the forecast that your lovable sister's son is going to be your killer. So the action taken by Kans, how you define that?
Action taken by what?
I believe we all aware of the story, no? That Kansha took her sister to prison because that the forecast was.
Yes,
that,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that incident, how you describe in the from Bhagavad-Gītā, if we relate that situation.
I could not understand the connection. What exactly your pointed question is?
Because
If that incident has taken place, that Kamsa was given some kind of an understanding by the 8th son of Vasudeva is going to kill him, and then he started killing every newborn baby that was born from Vasudeva and Devaki. So that was the story. Yes.
Ah,
Now that karma what Kamsa was doing was
Ah.
out of fear for his life.
hmm.
Out of fear for his life.
So
Now, if-
nowadays also same thing happening. Those who have
Yeah.
power, they misuse the power because of fear. Isn't it? Lot of such things happening nowadays.
Yeah, but if you get disconnected with them, then you have no
Ah.
reason to get fear. The problem is we are
Absolutely.
getting too much connected with the material world, and that is the thing which is growing in us. And that is the seeding that we do in our own mind of fear. So seeding of fear in our mind is done by us only, nobody else. If
Absolutely.
you get disconnected with the material world and your kamanas and desires
So,
are related to material world, then there is no
No.
reason to get afraid.
no, I agree fully with you. And that's Gita, Bhagavad Gita is teaching us that don't take anything out of fear or out of anger. Any decision should be based on logic.
You're right.
So that is 100% correct. But in such situation, if suppose I'm in the council, so what I should have done, then I mean that situation. So if we take the lesson from Bhagavad Gita, then what should have been the right step for counts?
See, if you are aware, by reading Bhagavad Gita, we know at least one thing, that whatever consequences we are facing in today's life are the consequences of our karmas of past life or this life. As we discussed a few times, there are three things. One is our prarabdha. Okay. And how the prarabdha is getting formed. Prarabdha is something, our past karmas, which are getting deposited, and they sprout out sometimes in the form of prarabdha. The results of your karma do not appear immediately when the karma is finished. It goes into some kind of a depository.
Absolutely.
And when that depository is opened, it comes up in the form of a prarabdha. And that prarabdha, when that prarabdha will happen, it is not in your hands. You may have to face prarabdha of past 10 lives karmas in this life. So after reading Gita, when we know this particular fact, that we are facing the consequences of our own karmas, then even if we know that this is going to happen in our life, we should be facing it boldly rather than trying to kill somebody. By killing somebody, you are further spoiling your karmas and your next life as well. So this is an opportunity for you to repay the karmas and then get rid of it once and for all. Instead of getting it more entangled in committing some ghastly karma of killing somebody, if you get clear of your past karmas, then this is an opportunity given to you by the God that you know yet you are going to die of this, but this is a consequence you are facing of your past karmas. Kamsa could have probably faced that, and he could have come clean. But by killing 7 newly born babies, he has accumulated a huge amount of papa karma, which cannot be cleaned so easily then.
Right.
So only hell is the only answer for such people who are not prepared to face their karmas, and if they find another short route to avoid the consequence of karmas by committing some more ghastly karmas, then they are probably prolonging, not probably, but definitely prolonging their path in the hell.
Now, again, 100% in agreement. But now the question is, in that case, how Kamsa could acquire such power? If his past is full of sign and all these things, then how he acquired that power?
See, that is, this is a mythological story now. See, all asuras mostly are the devotees of Lord Shiva, and they get a boon from Lord Shiva. And Lord Vishnu has a tough time most of the time to get rid of those asuras. So Shiva keeps giving some boon to asuras, and Lord Vishnu has to get rid of those asuras. So asuras also are not that way. They are also devoted. They are devoted to some form of God also. Like Lord Shiva is also God, no? So they are devoted to him. So they get a boon from him that yes, you can do this, that, and all that. Asuras, they get huge amount of power by doing something, some sadhana. But they misuse it. And by misusing it, they create their own hell.
The same thing is happening today all over the world.
Yeah. You see, ultimately, nobody gets rid of the karma phala. Even if today you feel that all these people are enjoying their life, it's a wrong notion. They're
Absolutely.
going to face the consequences. Sooner or later, everybody has to pay for his karmas. It goes without exception.
But the problem is the environment get vitiated and we common people, we suffer.
That is the reason we are reading Gita, that we should not get affected by the other people's behavior, bad behavior. And we should come clean. That is the reason we are reading Gita. If we are
100%
getting
in
influenced by
agreement.
some bad,
100%.
yeah, if we are getting influenced for some bad people, then we have to cleanse our mind of all those bad effects. And that is the reason of reading Gita.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the solution. So ultimately, end of the day, we have to find solution. And as you said, Bhagavad Gita is absolutely, that's the solution.
That is
Now-
the path.
Now, thank you so much for this explanation and clears my doubt. From that
Geeta
complete-
Kareji, kindly unmute yourself.
भैया जी मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि इम्प्योर माइंड से क्या तात्पर्य है? क्या सिर्फ विचारों का आना जाना या अच्छे विचार बुरे विचार?
इम्प्योर माइंड का मतलब भगवत गीता की दृष्टि में एक ही है कि आप संसार में लिप्त हैं और परमात्मा से दूर है। आपकी पीठ परमात्मा की तरफ है और आपका मुंह संसार की तरफ है, जबकि होना चाहिए उल्टा। आपकी पीठ संसार की तरफ चाहिए और आपका मुंह परमात्मा की तरफ चाहिए, लेकिन आपने उल्टा कर दिया, तो यह है इम्प्योर माइंड। Pure mind is that which is always engrossed in the thoughts about Paramatma, which is always engrossed in some kind of spiritual activity. जैसे हम गीता पढ़ रहे हैं, विष्णु सहस्त्रनाम पढ़ रहे हैं, उसके बारे में सुन रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, हमारे मन में उसके बारे में मनन चिंतन कर रहे हैं, तो ये हमारा जिंदगी का मुख्य उद्देश्य होना चाहिए कि हम हमारा आत्म स्टडी करें, स्वयं का सेल्फ स्टडी करें कि मैं यहाँ पर मेरा बिहेवियर और भगवत गीता में जो परमात्मा ने मनुष्य का बिहेवियर कहा है, उनके डिवोटीज का बिहेवियर कहा है, उस परिप्रेक्ष्य में मैं कहाँ खड़ा हूँ आज? क्या मैं परमात्मा की अपेक्षाएं पूरा कर सकता हूँ? आज की स्थिति में नहीं कर सकता हूँ, तो कहाँ मैं कम पड़ रहा हूँ और मैं उनको कैसे सुधार सकता हूँ? और वो सुधारना तभी संभव है जब आप संसार से डिस्कनेक्ट हो जाए। यदि संसार में लिप्त रहेंगे तो ये प्योर माइंड संभव नहीं है। तो योग वही है जैसे हम परसों भी डिस्कस किया था हमने कि शांति और परम शांति दो चीजें होती है। शांति तब प्राप्त होती है जब हम सांसारिक कामनाओं से छुट्टी प्राप्त कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि सबकी मन की अशांति जो होती है वो सांसारिक कामनाओं के कारण ही होती है। सांसारिक कामनाएं हमने छोड़ दी, खत्म कर दी, छोड़ दी, तो मन की शांति प्राप्त होती है। लेकिन परमात्मा गीता में हमें परम शांति की अपेक्षा रखते हैं कि परम शांति कैसे प्राप्त करेंगे। तो संसार से संबंध छोड़िए, परमात्मा से जब संबंध जुड़ेगा तब जो शांति प्राप्त होगी वो परम शांति है। तो वो परम शांति हमें प्राप्त करना है, तो उसके लिए दो पायदान हैं। एक पहली पायदान पे तो सांसारिक कामनाओं से मुक्ति लेना है और दूसरे पायदान में परमात्मा से हमारा योग संबंध जोड़ना है। तो छठवां अध्याय जो है आत्मसंयम योगा, ये यही सिखाता हमें कि परमात्मा से योग मतलब परमात्मा से कनेक्शन कैसे करना। तो छोटी छोटी चीजें परमात्मा स्वयं जो योगेश्वर हैं, भगवान स्वयं कृष्ण, वो हमें छोटी छोटी चीजें सिखा रहे हैं। कैसे बैठना साधना में, कैसे प्राणायाम करना, कहाँ पे नजर टिकाना, मन में कौन से विचार लाना, कौन से विचार नहीं लाना, किधर देखना किधर नहीं देखना, ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें परमात्मा बता रहे हैं स्वयं। यदि इनका हम अनुसरण करें तो हम परमात्मा की साधना में लग सकते हैं। लेकिन सिर्फ हम पढ़ेंगे और पढ़ने के बाद सब जैसे कथा पढ़ते हैं वैसा कथा पढ़ने के बाद छोड़ देंगे, तो भगवत गीता नहीं है। भगवत गीता कोई कथा नहीं है
जी।
भगवत गीता एक हमारे लिए दैनंदिन जीवन में हम कैसा जीवन व्यतीत करें उसके बारे में एक गाइडलाइन है कि आप ऐसा जीवन व्यतीत करेंगे तो मुझे प्राप्त करेंगे। जैसे परमात्मा ने अनेकों जगह गारंटी दी है परमात्मा ने भगवत गीता में।
धन्यवाद भैया।
Achala Srivatsava Didi, kindly unmute yourself.
हाँ, जय श्री कृष्णा। मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी जी आ रही है।
जय श्री कृष्णा।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
आ रही है?
आ रही
जय
बोलिए।
श्री कृष्ण। हाँ, श्लोका नंबर 24, God Krishna talks about the cleansing and eradication of the chain of sanskaras. हाँ,
Yeah.
by two methods. The first is yoga nidra and the second meditation.
That is becoming your own witness. Sakshi. You
Becoming
become your own
witness.
witness. You observe the activities of your mind as a witness, as a third person, how your mind is interacting to different situations.
That is Sakshi Bhav. That is
Ah,
Sakshi
Sakshi
Bhav.
Bhav. Yeah, that
Not
is
being
witness.
involved in it.
No, that is Sakshi Bhav. That is Sakshi Bhav.
And what about Yoga Nidra that you were saying? What is that?
Yoga Nidra we discussed during 5th Adhyaya discussion. Yoga Nidra is some activity wherein you have to lie down in Shavasana. And Yoga
Yes,
Nidra
yes.
is to be performed under the guidance of an expert.
Yes.
The expert will make each limb of your body rest. He will put it to rest. Starting from your legs to your
Okay.
mind, you will be rested totally. And you will be in a total repose. Repose, what is repose that we have seen? जब हमारे मन की और शरीर की सारी शक्तियां जो है वो खत्म तो नहीं होती, लेकिन उसमें कोई आकांक्षाएं नहीं रहती हैं, तो मन का रिपोज हो जाता है. रिपोज मतलब एक प्रकार की निद्रा. और उस निद्रा में जब हमारे पूरे
Yes.
पुराने संस्कार है वो भी धुलना शुरू हो जाते हैं. तो योग निद्रा से हमारे पुराने संस्कार धुल जाते हैं और संस्कार के कारण कर्म बनते हैं हमारे. जैसे संस्कार होंगे वैसे कर्म हम करते हैं. जैसे हमने बात करी कि जो भी कर्म हम करते हैं उसका एक इम्प्रिंट हमारे अंतःकरण पे आता है. और अंतःकरण क्या होता है? हमारा मन, हमारी बुद्धि, हमारा सबकॉन्शियस और हमारा स्वयं अहम. ये चारों को मिला के हमारा अंतःकरण बनता है. तो अंतःकरण में हर कर्म का एक इम्प्रिंट, एक इमेज जाते रहता है. और ये जो 3 बैगेज हमारे दिल में तैयार हो रहे हैं, एक सात्विक का बैगेज है, एक राजसी का बैगेज है, एक तामसी का बैगेज है. ये तीनों बैगेज लेके हम हमारे अगले जन्म में जाते हैं. तो ये बैगेज हम अनेक जन्मों से कैरी करते आ रहे हैं. इस जन्म में यदि हमने सात्विक कर्म किए हैं, गीता पढ़ी है, समझी है, उसके बारे में सुना है और उसके अनुसार चलने का प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं, तो हमारा सात्विक बैग बड़ा हो जाएगा और राजसी और तामसी छोटा हो जाएगा. तो अगला जन्म जो मिलेगा वो सात्विक कर्म हमसे ज्यादा होंगे. एक जन्म में सारे संस्कार का धुलना मुश्किल होता है, लेकिन जैसे 6 अध्याय के हम आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे कि इस जन्म में किया हुआ कोई भी सत्कर्म वेस्ट जाता नहीं है. हम वहीं से हमारी यात्रा शुरू करते हैं जहां पर हमने इस जिंदगी में छोड़ी है. इस जीवन में जहां पे हम छोड़ते हैं, अगली जिंदगी में वहीं से शुरू करना है. आपको फिर से 0 से चालू करने की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ती है. तो जब वो श्लोक आएंगे तब उसके बारे में हम डिस्कस करेंगे.
Okay, next we have Smita Kumari. Kindly, Smita Kumarji, kindly unmute.
Yeah, ma'am, it's unmuted. Can you
Yes,
hear
sure.
me?
Yeah, sure.
Jai
Yes.
Shri Krishna Bhaiya. Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. When you explained about sloka number 20, you explained about the types of yoga. Like
Yeah.
when the mind is restless, you told about mantra yoga. Then all the others, I missed it actually. Hatha yoga, bhakti yoga, and intellect you told jnana yoga. So can you explain from the hatha yoga?
Hatha yoga is basically asanas. Asanas and pranayam is hatha yoga.
Okay.
Yeah.
And bhakti
Yoga,
yoga,
you know, nama japa, bhakti yoga is chanting of the name comes under bhakti yoga, or offering some devotional service to Paramatma comes under bhakti yoga. So this is the part of bhakti yoga.
okay. And what about Raja yoga? sir?
Raja yoga is also a part of asanas and pranayama, but of a higher standard than hatha yoga. But little more complicated, like Kundalini yoga. Now, Kundalini is a part of your body which experts can jagrut your Kundalini. They can make it alive, your Kundalini. But it's a very tough challenge. Kundalini yoga is one of the-
horoscope, sir.
Yeah?
Kundalini means horoscope. Kundalini means horoscope.
No, Kundalini is a chakra in your body. Horoscope is different. That is Kundali.
Okay.
I'm talking about Kundalini.
Okay.
Kundalini
Okay,
is
okay.
in your body.
Okay.
And making that Kundalini Jagrut is an exercise in yoga, which only experts can do it. Ordinary people cannot do Kundalini Jagruti. So these are the advanced Raj Yogas.
And sir, mantra yoga, you told that is for restless mind. Can you explain that one, sir? Mantra yoga? Is it like
Mantra
you
yoga,
told Rama Japa?
whatever mantra your guru may give you, you fully trust, have full devotion in that, full faith in that, and then keep chanting that mantra yoga. And that mantra yoga is such that you can keep chanting it all the 24 hours a day. Whether you are sleeping, you are walking, you are talking, whatever, in the mental background, that mantra should keep getting chanted in your mind. That is mantra yoga. Once you start doing it, automatically the cleansing process will start of your mind.
Okay, thank you, sir. And one more thing, sir. Last 24th sloka, you told about yoga nidra, and the second part you told detached something. Is it detached
Detached
senses?
witness. Detached witness.
Witness.
So as I
So
said,
is it like yoga, practicing yoga?
yeah, practicing yoga, but keeping yourself away from your mind. Come out of your mind. Normally what happens is we become mind. We see something and the senses, so for example, eyes have seen one particular thing and either we like it or we dislike it. So the senses have done their job of seeing something. Eyes have done the job of seeing something. But after that sense and sense objects come together, the mind takes over and start making a commentary. I like this. I don't like this. I want to have this. Why I don't have it till now? My wife did not do this for me. My wife is to be blamed for this, or somebody else is to be blamed for this. So mind takes over and starts making the commentary. And you become a mind. If you learn this tactics of becoming away from mind, become a witness of your mind activity, you only observe from where the thoughts are coming, how the mind is interacting with the thoughts, and what is the where the thoughts are going from the mind. So don't be a mind. Keep observing the mind. Be a witness of your own mind. If you are a witness, you are a third person, you are not a mind, then only this yoga is possible. If you become mind, then every time you will get engrossed in your mind. And as we discussed, to defeat your own mind is a very challenging task. Very difficult to defeat your mind. Mind always wins.
Okay, now Ajay
Thank you so
Singh
much.
ji, kindly unmute yourself for the question.
जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Shri Krishna.
आवाज आ रही है
हाँ जी, आ रही है, आ रही है.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया
Jai Shri Krishna.
are we going to get our human body again after death?
It is not guaranteed that you will get human body. There are 84 lakh yonis. Depending upon karmas, which body to be given to us, which species to be given to us, is decided by the Prakriti. Even God
As you were
doesn't
telling,
even God doesn't take care of it.
as I heard that if we practice this and this, that and that, then next birth I will get the better mental status or better sanskaras. So it means
See,
we have
whenever
to.
Whenever you have this confusion, remember 14th Adhyaya Shloka. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaganya guna vrittistha, adho gachanti tamasaha. Sattvic karma will take you up, maybe in the heaven also, in the Brahmaloka also. So,
It means by nature or behavior we will behave like different category of human being.
yeah, if your karma of sattvic nature are more, you may even attain the heaven or Brahmaloka.
Yeah.
Urdhvam gachanti, urdhva is up, urdhva is up. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. Sattvic people will go up. Up is in the company of evolved souls. Evolved, they join that company.
Upper environment and all that.
Madhya tishtati rajasa. Madhya means in this Manusha Loka.
Jamin par रहना है. Jamin par रहना.
People, they remain, they get birth in the Manusha Loka. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhya tishtati rajasa, or
adho gacchati.
Adho gachanti tamasaha. So tamasa people may get the birth of a cockroach or a snake or anything. Adho gachanti.
I believe adho gacchati माने जो
they will not become
जो
human
behavior will be like that.
Yeah, so our karma will decide what next life we are going to have.
Yeah, चोर डाकू चक्का ये सब जो वर्ड आता है वैसा ही
And
वो
as
सब
I
हो सकता है।
normally say that even if you get human life as your next
Yeah.
life, to get human life in proper country, proper society is important. Now,
Yeah.
in today's context, if you take human life, you become human birth. You take human birth in a country like Syria or Yemen or Iraq. It is better to get born as a dog in India.
Isn't that? Now, I will request anybody if they want some Yoga Nidra practice, they can contact me. I will teach them. If,
Great. You teach Yoga Nidra?
Yeah, Asana Pranayama also I teach.
Very good. Very good. Good that you said this. Very nice.
I think we have finished with the question and answer session. Everybody, there are no more questions, I think.
Yeah.
We'll move on. It was a very, very interactive session, Bhaiya. Very, very nice. Very curious questions answered. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for endowing this August gathering with all your words of wisdom. It was really an enlightening session. And we are all blessed to be here on this pleasant evening and enrich ourselves with this knowledge. Now, for the Thanksgiving Prarthana and to offer our sincere prayers at the lotus feet of Paramatma, I invite Pushpa Joshi ji from Jaipur, Rajasthan. Didi is a retired professional with an MA and B.Ed. She is interested in social service activities and is associated with Gita Parivar since September 2020. She is a group coordinator, technical assistant, and in TTG management team. Now I request Pushpa Didi, please, for the Prarthana.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Brajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna. So thank you so much for that wonderful Prarthana, Didi. Now, last but not the least, expressing gratitude is the highest form of thought. And undoubtedly, gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. So let me take this wonderful opportunity on behalf of Gita Parivar and sincerely thank our technical team and the whole of the backend team for their untiring efforts in making this session a memorable one to all of us. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our Gita sadhaks for attending this session and making it a great success. Let us make it a habit to enjoy the little things which come across. For one day, we may look back and realize that they were the big things which made our lives worth living. So see you all in another enlightening session, same time next week. But before that, before you sign off, please participate in the group chanting of Hanuman Chalisa and contribute your bit for the Satakoti Hanuman Chalisa Parayan. Please do not leave the session before that.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर मधुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाँ ते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाँ ते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संभारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna to all of you.